All right. What did you get with the car?
Mick, I'll tell you a funny story. So I bought the car. We went over to Sydney,
as
you recall,
yeah.
and purchased the vehicle. Then the week before they were shipping the vehicle to Adelaide, I went over and collected the books.
Oh, so I bought the books separately. So the books didn't come in the car on the transport?
No. He goes, you might as well take the books home. So I said, oh, fantastic. So this came with the original sets of keys with the 3 fobs. So the 2 keys, Mick, the 3 fobs, 2 black and the red master fob.
So this is a master fob, that's the original pouch?
That's the original pouch. Right, so this is the master fob.
So you don't use that?
I don't use it, so I'll put this one away. Look at the key. This is exactly how they came out with that.
So this has got the sandblasted coating.
Correct.
So this is the one you use all the time?
Exactly right.
So that was like that at one stage?
That's right. And then a lot of people, they paint them and, you know,
you've got to leave.
Leave it original.
That's original patina, that one?
Correct. But the main thing is a lot of people buy the car and they don't get the original red fob.
Why is that?
Well, they've lost them.
Oh, okay.
So the value is in this original red fob, because that resets everything. To get this is thousands of dollars.
Okay, so you can't reset it with the other fob?
No. So
that's handy.
That's a very, very important thing to have. And I remember in all the articles, make sure it's got all the books and all the papers. So I started to panic, obviously. So these came home and were on the kitchen bench. Right?
Yeah.
And so my son said, what are
And
they?
this is where you bought it, from Scuderia Graziani.
Yeah, New South Wales, remember?
Yeah.
And so I said, my son said, what's this? I said, oh, they're the books of the Ferrari. And my wife turned around and said, did you really buy it?
That's right, I remember. That's right.
I said, no, they just gave me this to bring home to have a read to see if I really want it. The original torch.
We don't need that anymore because it's on our phone.
But look at that. It's hard to find.
Does it work?
Hard to find. So funny story is this... It doesn't, well, I can't get it open to change the battery. So it's obviously seized up, but beautiful. Most of the times these are missing, so I was happy that was in there. Then the other key, so this has got the special code for the radio. So very important, but the battery charger, the hi-fi system. So
we don't worry about the hi-fi system.
Yeah, but it's all in it. As excited as I was, I've literally read every page of all these books.
Well, you do that, yeah. Actually, I've read the full books on this too, because when I had one for a weekend.
So that's all there, which we loved.
So we can put that away, but you've got another little red book.
So then I created another book for every time I drive the vehicle. And so this is my little Ferrari red book.
Have a look at that. That's
little
gold.
Notepad that I created.
Nice.
So this has got exactly what the vehicle is. This is a photo of the vehicle in the showroom. Right? This is the pre-purchase inspection document. So this is everything we asked, the original price we asked, PPI, to own a car. These are all the questions I asked, right? Service history. And then this is the pre-purchase inspection.
So you've actually, that's a copy, that's not the original.
There's a photocopy.
Yeah.
But it shows the layer of paint, very good, timing belts, you know, all the cost estimates.
And this is what we say about pre-purchase inspection. It's quite critical to make sure someone goes through that, because if you're not used to buying cars, you wouldn't know to look at these things, like thickness of the paint.
These are the thickness of the paint. So you know if it's been touched up or not touched up. So then everything I've ever done with the car, see your initials are in there, that means that you were part of it. GGMTOB.
Oh, look at that, eh?
Build date. This is the actual build date. I went back and I found the actual, so the 7th of February 2000, and it was very first registered on the 3rd of March 2000. So then this is everything. Now, this is the receipts of all the petrol.
That I can't believe.
So I pretty much keep a note of everything I've done. First drive with Michael Talladero to Macclesfield. We left with 32,865 miles, came back, so 78 miles for that trip. Started engine, ran it for 5 minutes, started first time, no problem. And all these little notes.
That is fantastic.
And then this is the sales. When you ordered one of the cars, these were the options you could order. Maintenance service. So then I make a note of everything that needs to be done. And it gets ticked off as Mario goes through and we do things. So, you know, replace plastic plate protection for the front wheel arches. You'll see that hasn't been done yet. You know, bottom left-hand side scratch where the door meets the vent. All these little things that I just work towards.
There's always a list. I mean, people have always got...
And every dollar I've spent. So when Theo service pricing, Theo's prices, all here. So when someone takes not only the original books, this is absolutely everything I've ever done. The last drive was to McLaren Vale, 106 miles, 36,892, and that's what we've got here today.
So that shows that you're an enthusiast.
Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
a passionate enthusiast for sure.
So then, there was missing one thing.
Oh, yes.
The toolkit.
It didn't have the toolkit.
So, we found an original. Now look at this, Mick. This is genuine Ferrari.
Unused.
Unused, new
So
old
you haven't done a service with these tools?
Ferrari Australasia. There you go. The date, 2019 was the production. So, okay. New old stock. Borsa Attrezzi complete toolkit bag.
Ori, with this car, once you did the pre-PI, there was a lot of things that had to be done.
Correct. So then the car went back to Graziani, and there were a list of items that needed to be either fixed up by Graziani or taken off the purchase price. So I would then fix them up later. So
you decided, with taking it off the purchase price, you decided the cam belt service, we're better off doing it or getting it organised.
Because the gentleman or the technician that would look after it, Mario, would then look after the car fully. So best to him to do the service when it got to Adelaide.
Okay, so open up the
But all the other little
bay.
things we got Graziani to do, if you recall.
Yeah, that's right. So let's have a look at that. So we open up the engine bay. So with this, in the engine bay, they didn't do any service at all then?
No, so the engine bay, no service at all. And what we needed to do was just pretty much, Mario looked over the car, done the belts.
Cam belt service?
Correct.
But with the cam belt service, they do the tensioners as well.
Yes,
so
correct.
they do the tensioners because that's often what fails if it hasn't been done.
Correct. And then there was the ball joints, Mario did. It was all the more the aesthetic things that we got Graziani to
they
fix.
painted the bumper bar? What did they...
They fixed up the bumper bar because there was a slight blemish.
And
scratch.
the rims, I think there was
No, the rims I was supposed to, but they never did. You
left it out.
So I got those done here also, and they just took it off the purchase price.
Yeah.
There were a few little dents in the roof, remember? Just from someone leaning, so they got removed those for me. And then when we got here, we've obviously painted the air fuel colours. That's all we've done in the engine bay. And
so how do you keep this clean?
Manually clean it.
Just manually clean it, because it does look pretty good, doesn't it?
So it's pretty good. I mean, it does need another good clean. But it's, you get the dust in that comes through.
And what's not original on this is the tube exhaust. Tube exhaust.
And there's in here, in the plates, so these covers down here, I'm not sure you can see them, have been resprayed.
Okay.
That's it. Otherwise, everything else is the same. And this is that joint that I said is snapped. That's the Bosch piece here. One's cracked.
They quite.
Yeah, so that cracks.
The one on the other side's cracked.
Correct. So that just needs to be replaced.
But that's easy.
It's a little crack there. It's just a Bosch piece. So that's all I need to do to fix that.
And you've got the original sticker?
The original sticker of
Meridian Motors in England.
That's exactly where it got delivered. But then if you recall, Michael, the wheel caps, these. So I had to get the original wheel caps because it's a different yellow.
They were different yellows. And there's aftermarket ones. So these are original, these are Ferrari.
Yep.
And I have a look at this, Ori, as well. This has got the original PPF.
That's it. That was one of the things to try and get that fixed and replaced. But that's exactly how it came out of the factory.
You don't want to take that off because that is original.
But
so
one's
that's how
missing on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, and they had some at the back too. See, at the back they've got it as well?
Yep, exactly.
It's a bit dusty there, or dirty there, Ori, but anyway.
Yeah, so these have all been done, the caps, because to get the originals, difficult.
So the aesthetics things inside the car, they didn't do any of that at delivery?
No. So then, when inside the car, you remember this was cracked, Mick? The little vent?
Yes.
That was cracked,
that got taken off.
There were a couple of the new gear knob, because it was all scratched. All the sticky buttons have all been removed.
The original gear knob, you've still got it, of course.
Correct. Yeah. There's a couple of buttons on the other side, on the driver's side, that were cracked. And obviously the headliner up here has been replaced. But that's the original material for the headliner.
So some of the headliners came out in leather.
That was an option.
But this didn't, so you kept it the original.
Correct. And then the seats got, like I said, you get a bit of that scaving, that cracking on the sides, on the bolsters as you get in and out.
But they've been redone, so
correct.
They look great.
But all original, nothing changed. I don't know. See, it's actually not bad, but the dash, you see a little bit of bubbling sometimes on the leather.
The leather on these dashes shrink, but in this one here, actually it looks really good. You did have it stretched, didn't you?
I did have it stretched. They removed
so there's
that.
a little bit of bubbling up here.
So, yeah, that's right. It's in that section there.
But you can't worry about that.
So there, I love all the proper stickers. Actually, it's got all the compliance stickers, plates. It's hard to see them. In here, there's actually a plate. So in the books, it tells you what every digit means and if it's legit, not legit, copied, not copied. And so this is the UK import plate.
See, what I noticed as well, Ori, is the terminal for the trickle charger.
Yes, so Mario put that in.
So that's put in that spot?
Mario put it in. Yeah, so you can put it in a few different spots. But
because all these Ferraris need a trickle charger.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're using them every day.
I think it's nice. They're just behind.
So that's
the trickle charger
away.
And the fire extinguisher.
Well, that you need for track days. But we're saying the new ones come out with fire extinguishers.
Correct. Now, would you have put it in the footwell? You could put it in the footwell.
No, I reckon that's good. It's sort of tucked away there. I think it looks better there.
But then, obviously, there were little screws missing, actually, in the doors.
But you found them.
We found those. Yeah. So this one's not put in properly, I've just noticed. Michael might have to fix that.
And on the door side, the unlock.
Yeah, and the door strapping.
Oh, you changed
opening
the door
too
strapping.
wide.
Yeah.
Original shields were all in the car. Perfect. I think the condition for a 22-year-old car...
look, it's good, which has only had a nominal paint, like we said about the bumper bar and maybe the hood.
Now, you'll see, I mean, we're talking about the paint, but see, it's got a little bit of road rash.
This is the stuff we talk about with stone chips and road rash.
The paint there that's not painted properly, see the chips?
Well, that would have been when...
They've touched
up
so
the
that's
chips.
what I'm saying. Things like that need to be fixed up.
Yeah.
But the road rash...
So you've got a bit here.
Yep, correct. This is track rash, road rash.
So this is all the stuff you've done.
I've done, correct.
Yeah, that's right.
Correct, because we had this... remember, when we took delivery, this was all fixed.
That was actually...
all perfect red.
So
I know that I've done this. Yeah. So I actually like the fact that I've done
There's no big... That's right, of course, because you've used it. Yeah.
But you can tell here, when I say a complete paint job... you can tell there's imperfections on the bonnet here.
But you really have to look closely because, it's pretty good. And it shows that it's been used. So.
And down here you can really see the rash.
See, the black part, as I've said before, we can touch that up ourselves. Right. But the red needs a professional.
Yep.
So the slip low, this is the slip low we used. So this is just stuck on. I think there is a couple of screws on there, but that's a generic one.
It's just stick.
It's just stuck on. That's a universal because the overhang on these 360s, this is actually quite low. So you do, and it's got no lift kit.
No, correct.
So these didn't come with the option of lift kit. So this is a universal one, which is pretty good. They do apparently make one specifically for the 360.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's a good product.
It is a great product. I think
it's protected all this.
Yep.
Because this in past, look, this is all scratched.
Yeah.
Obviously, but this would have been scratched in the past.
Correct. So this actually is the lowest point.
Yeah. I mean, look,
when you go down.
You can tell here
well, that's the one we patched.
Yeah, we touched this up.
That's not bad still.
And we've done it again.
But that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I agree.
So if we look underneath.
So this is where.
You remember where you bottomed out a bit?
Yeah, here, look at that.
So you bottomed out here. So that's just scraped out. So it didn't cause any damage. It just scraped a bit. But that can be sorted. But otherwise...
see, over here it's protected it perfect.
Yeah. So it's scraped on the slip low, hasn't it?
Yep.
And that's what you want it to do.
That's it.
Perfect.
It's protected it.
Yep. Sorry, we talked about these tyres because these are the ones that came with the car when you bought it.
Came with the car, correct. So they're Falcons, they're not the original car. It should be either a Michelin, a Bridgestone, a Goodyear or a Pirelli.
Now,
Pirelli
it really
P0.
should be a Pirelli. So if you open up the door, it actually tells you what it is.
Correct.
It's a Pirelli. The date... This is how you read the date.
Every tyre has got a date of manufacture. So that is
the 21st
week of the 14th year.
So 2014, we're now 2022, so they're 8
years old.
8 years old.
8 years old.
It is about time
for new tyres.
New tyres.
They're in still good condition, but I'd change it. Yeah,
So it's got the spare tyres. So the English delivered one's got the space saver spare.
Correct.
That's fine. That doesn't look like it's ever been used. And of course you've got the jack. We won't take that out. But
yeah, and the original paint colour, which we know is there's a lot of Rosso Corsas, but this is 322.D.S.
Yeah. So people talk about Ferrari red, but there's plenty of Ferrari reds.
Now, you know, I'm saying aesthetically, do we get these all touched up? See that little bit of paint chips?
The paint chips.
That needs to probably be redipped and redone. It's where do you stop now?
Well, you know, that is quite easy because they just bolt off.
Correct, and you can get that redone.
You know, we can do that ourselves.
So, and a little bit of fogginess.
That's
the
annoying.
Fogginess. This is the annoying one.
Can you see it from here? You
can see it on here. So there's fogginess or moisture that's gone in. And so this is the big one. So you've got to get in through the headlight to be able to clean it. Because if you cut it out, to reseal it's going to be near on impossible.
Yeah, you know, because these are sealed and...
now, you would have seen the back of the car had we said tubey exhaust, but it's got the Challenge grille. And I said front end. So these are the front Challenge grills.
Yeah.
So a lot of them
sometimes they change the rear and put in a Challenge grill, but they don't put the vents at the front.
Where that matches. So, look, Mick, I would have ordered it like this. This is exactly the spec I would have ordered it.
And you know what was good too, which I wasn't sure about at the beginning, when you said I'm going to...
Oh, the number plate.
The number plate, I'm going to call it 360.
360T.
Which I reckon it's great.
Okay. A little play on words, so love it.
All right. After 3 years of ownership...
3 years, starting my fourth, I love it.
So the only choice you've got to make now is whether we do a cam belt service. I say we because I feel as if it's my car
absolutely.
as well.
Well, you're part of the whole process.
So whether you do a cam belt service after 3 years or 4 or 5.
So it's due for its cam belt, and we're in that negotiation now. We're having a chat with the technician now. But yeah, now it's like I said, it's now just fixing up these little.
There's minor things.
Bits. There's always. I remember you saying there will always be
a list.
To do.
There'll always be a list.
And so, but absolutely love it.
But what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to have the car in a spot that you can always turn the key and drive
it. Yep.
So that's the main thing.
So absolutely beautiful.
Yep. Magic car.